Namo Buddhaya, Tashi, and welcome to our fourth meditation class. So, how are you all? So my first live audience will be the one right in front of me.
Okay.
And at the same time, I have two sets of live audiences. Welcome, welcome. Please have a seat wherever that you can find a place. So I think we can, with the cushion, we can sort of like adjust.
Sure.
May I suggest that you take this one instead of that
sure.
one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it all
That has a bit of cat fur.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to sit on the sofa?
Leo, could we push this a little bit so that, yeah.
Sure.
So we are still setting up.
Okay.
Okay. So, sister, you can. What I can do is that I can. Because today we're doing body scan, so it's a bit difficult to see.
Scan.
Yeah.
Careful.
So we're going to scan.
Don't go too far.
Scan the body.
It's a light. Dia kipas macam-macam. Sehingga bagian dapat sana.
Okay. So I have my singing bowl today. So it's here for you. So once again, so very good afternoon or evening. Technically, Malaysian language, we will say it's evening. But I don't know, when I meet my Western friends, you say it's afternoon, yeah? So for us, anything after 4 p.m. is evening already. So it's just the noon when it's like the sun is right at the, above our heads. So we call that afternoon. But anyway, so it's small talk. Just to make you all comfortable, okay? And also for those who are online, they can actually start coming in. Right. So how are we today? Fine? Yeah? Okay. So welcome to our fourth meditation class. Your first ever.
First time ever.
Right. So please don't feel. Would you like to come to the front a little bit,
Sure.
so that we can give? So sister, you can actually sit anywhere in the middle. That I wouldn't recommend.
Yes.
I wouldn't recommend that one.
No, this one.
Okay. Right. Okay. So today we are going to learn about the body. I'm not here to teach you anatomy and physiology. Right. So let me just explain. Yeah, for those who are coming in for the first time and those who have watched my previous videos. So this is the fourth session, but anybody at entry level can pick it up right away. So I have designed the meditation classes in such a way that whether you are with me since the first class or you have come, intermittently, or you're here for the first time, you can join anytime. Okay. So there are certain concepts that you need to know, which I will reiterate during the meditation session. So it will be a balance of theory and practice. So you need to know some theoretical background. You need to have some theoretical foundation before you embark on the journey of self-discovery, whatever self means. No, it's so Zen. I mean, it's Buddhism, yeah. So, so self is not only the body, but today, for the purpose of today's class, so we talk about self as, in a way, you're going to discover your body, which we always think that it is ourself, this body that it's so difficult to find. The teachings tell us that it's very difficult to find and easily perishes, right? So therefore, we take great care to wash our body, to clothe our body, to eat good food, etc., etc. So apart from that, how much do you know about your body? Maybe some of us do some Tai Chi, Qigong, some exercises. Yeah, I know, sister, you do some wonderful exercises that you've taught me also. So, do you do any Tai Chi
No.
or any kind of yoga maybe?
You? Swimming?
Swimming. Okay, that's fantastic. Yeah.
Stretching the body.
So you do swimming and stretching exercises, sports. Yes, I have a sportswoman here who used to play for her district. Yeah, and so I'm not a very sporty person. So that explains why I'm going sideways. Well, anyway, so you know, um, we have a body, and our body comes from our parents, right? There's no doubt about it. We did not spring up from the lotus. We were not born spontaneously. So the body has come about through the five elements, right? What are those five elements?
Water, fire, flame, fire.
Okay. So
Space.
earth, water, fire, wind, space. Right? The five elements. Thank you for that. So so now you can see that the body is made up of many different things. So first you understand that you're made up of the five elements. And then when you have a good look at your body, you will see that you're not just one whole lump. There are different parts of the body, right? So you have eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and then that's just the face, right? And then you also have other parts of your body, your hands, your other limbs, your hands, yeah, your legs, your arms, your feet, your stomach, many, many different parts of the body, right? So again, I ask you, how much do you know about your body?
I'd say not much.
Mm,
Not very aware or conscious
Mm.
of like breathing or heart beating
okay,
day to day.
right. So suppose that you are having an impending heart attack, right? Many people miss the signs, right? So this lesson, this class is not only for the purposes of becoming enlightened. That's well and good, yeah. But let's be more practical here. So we want to be in touch with our body so that we at least stay healthy, body and mind, right? And then we can a healthy body, a healthy mind makes a happy society. A happy society is a peaceful society, right? So everybody becomes, peaceful, tranquil, and we support one another. We become friends. We are not, at war with each other. Everything happens when we are sorted inside, body and mind. Now, if you are in pain, uh, what is the likelihood that you can meditate? You can sit down here. How many of you are in physical pain at the moment? And the moment you sit down, you already know that there is something wrong somewhere. And then you struggle to sit in meditation. You've got to sit on the chair, something to that effect, Or you've never sat down cross-legged before. And if you really need to use the chair, you can. Yeah?
Yeah.
So because at some point in time, you're going to have cramps. Yeah. So we must understand our bodies so that, there are many things. Sometimes silent, heart attacks are silent killer nowadays. And if we don't know what's going on in our bodies, we cannot actually, pick up those red flags that are coming. Do you know that cats, dogs also, sometimes, do you notice that your cats or dogs, when you're ill or before you become ill, they suddenly come and sleep on you? Or they sense something different in our body. Our body chemicals, you know, attract the cats. The changes in the chemical composition of our body at that particular time when we start to get sick, our pets can pick up those little signs. So then, if but how is it that the cats can pick it up, the dogs can pick it up, but we can't pick it up? We can't, right? So one thing is, if you want to keep a pet, a dog, a cat, and then you observe them, and then they will tell you, or there's a better way. You observe your own body and let your own body tell you. So that's one practical application of today's class. So today, last week we learned about the mindfulness. So mindfulness basically is about remembering to be with the object of meditation. And in the last three classes, we have learned to do breathing. So the breathing in and breathing out, breathing in and breathing out This is the meditation object, the breath, right? And from there, everything else unfolds. So today's class, while scanning our body from head to toe, we will not forget our breath. Okay? So this is one very important thing that you've got to know. Okay. So first, let me invoke the blessings of my teachers before we start our meditation proper. Sangye Choedron Suki Choedron La Janju Baduda Nichap Suchi Taki Jinso Kipe Sunam Kidrona Benjiri Sangye Dro Parsho Sangye Choedron Suki Choedron La Janju Baduda Nichap Suchi Taki Jinso Kipe Sunam Kidrona Benjiri Sangye Dro Parsho Sangye Choedron Suki Choedron La Janju Baduda Nichap Suchi Taki Jinso Kipe Sunam Kidrona Benjiri Sangye Dro Parsho Semchen tamchen dewa dan deve judan de bara juji dunga tan dunga ki judan de bara juji dunga me pe dewa dan pada me de bara juji nye ring chanda nye dan da we tan yom chen pola ne bara juru ji. May all beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all beings be free from suffering and from creating those causes of suffering. May all beings never be separated from the joy and the bliss of resting in the natural presence, their true nature of mind. May all beings be centered, free from dualistic fixations of past and future, like and dislike. Semjen ki sampada lo ye jeta jeta waje jontu monte pa ye chwe ki kolo ko tu so. So, the meditation is open for all. Meditation is not the prerogative of a particular religious group or a particular racial group, ethnic group. Meditation is merely discovering your own mind, discovering your thinking patterns, your thought patterns, and then challenging your assumptions about your existence and your circumstances, and looking at how your mind deceives you moment to moment, how your mind is craftily trying to create a reality which only belongs to you. And it's not absolute reality. So that reality is a skewed perception. And over the past 3 classes, we have been trying to look at our mind, our body, our breath, with the sole purpose of trying to understand who we are, right? So we understand who we are by observing our breath, because the breath is the gateway to an inner universe that is yet to be discovered. But before we discover the inner universe, we know the breath, and then the breath will bring us to our body. And once you understand your body, then you go deeper and deeper, you understand phenomena, and you understand the way you exist or the way you don't exist. Okay, so let us start now. So I must let you know that while the meditation is open to all, everyone, I must give credit back to the historical Buddha. So because it is this body scan technique comes none other than from Buddha Shakyamuni, Siddhartha Gautam Buddha, or we call Mahatma Buddha, right? So what did the Buddha actually give humanity? So the Buddha did not set out to create a religion or to garner followers. The Buddha simply pointed out the flaw in our perception, how we think, who we are, what we think we are, and the way we go about doing things that causes suffering, right? So the Buddha taught the 4 noble truths. The 4 noble truths, the first noble truth is the noble truth of suffering. That means I would like to put it in a different way. So today I want to put the 4 noble truths in a way that we don't look at it in a form of suffering, because sometimes suffering is very overwhelming. So the 4 noble truths, we look at it in the form of going off balance. So if everything in this world is in harmony, there will be peace, there will be understanding, there will be happiness, tranquility, right? You just look at nature. I'm sorry, just imagine nature. Curtains are closed. Just imagine nature, yeah? So you imagine the mountains, you imagine the sea, you imagine any natural phenomenon, natural formation. Right. And then you see the birds and the bees. There is a time. Everything has got a rhythm. The universe works according to a rhythm. The earth revolves around its axis. And then the sun rises, then the sun sets, and the birds start chirping, and the birds go back home in the evening. The flowers bloom, and the flowers wither. Everything has a natural order and a natural balance. So we can attribute this to a divine agent. We can attribute this to a law of the universe. Doesn't matter how the universe is and who created it. What is important is whether we understand how to live within the laws of the universe. That's very important. So according to the Buddha, human beings have failed to live in accordance with the law of the universe. That's why we are off balance. So if you look at everything else in the universe, everything is in perfect balance, like the Tao, the yin and the yang, the white and the black. Yeah. So everything is in perfect harmony. Now look at your own mind. Take some time, 10 seconds, to see whether you have that perfect harmony in your own mind or not. If your mind is wandering to the past, or your mind is going to the future, or if you're going to the realm of like or dislike, then you are no longer in a state of balance. Okay? So I simplified the workings of the mind in my previous classes, but for the benefit of those who just joined today, the mind does 4 things. It goes to the past, it goes to the future, it likes something, it grasps, and when it doesn't like something, it pushes. So now, in those 4 things lies the human being, who's fettered, meaning that we are blown by the winds of our thoughts. Wherever our thoughts take us, that's where we go. Blown, right? So this is what the Buddha meant by suffering. So let's not use the word suffering. Sometimes we use the word dissatisfactoriness. I wouldn't quite like to use that for today's lesson. For today's lesson, and for every other lesson from today onwards, I would like to rephrase the first noble truth of the Buddha, and this is the basic teaching of the Buddha, as people and everything going off balance. So when people do not work according to the laws of the universe, we start to destroy nature, right? We start to put pesticides, we start to put herbicides, then and then we start to burn many things. Yeah. So then you see nature responding, and it doesn't only respond, it reacts in such a way. And why does nature react? We call it human induced, but for those who are more scientific, we call it anthropogenic. So human induced, whatever that the human beings have done, the nature is trying to balance it. So whenever human beings do anything to harm, we are doing it out of ignorance. There is a quality of mind within us, or should I say, it's not a quality of mind, it is actually a mental affliction. And in Buddhism, we call it the 3 poisons. So we actually don't really know what we are doing. If we know what we are doing and the consequences that will arise from that particular action, that will then we will not do it, right? So if we know the consequences of putting herbicides and all, and what goes around comes around after, maybe 1 year, 2 years, 10 years, and then we start drinking the water, we get cancer, and then we also will die because it's in the food chain. So all these things, the interrelatedness, all these things, we don't know. So we just go on doing what we usually do, just to survive. Because we have this body, we eat, we sleep, and in order to eat, we do many other things to harm others. And that's where we go off balance. The off balance is because we are unable to understand what we are doing, and that is called ignorance. We are completely unaware of the inner workings of our mind. So from an ignorant person, we become greedy. So the ignorance means that you don't really know how you actually exist. So you become greedy. So a greedy person wants to take more than necessary. So that's why we have overexploitation of the earth, planet Earth, etc., etc. Right? So many things. And then once we cannot get what we want, then we become angry. So all these three, the ignorance, the attachment, the greed, and the anger, these three things are the reason why we are off balance. So how to maintain that balance? So the Buddha's first noble truth says that it's the noble truth of going off balance. It's the noble truth of imbalance. Now deeply understand the imbalance. We are not balanced, so that is the reason why we are constantly going to the past, constantly going to the future, grasping at this body as if it is our true self. So when we like something, we go and grab it. When we don't like something, we go and push it. And if someone doesn't point it out to you, that that is how your mind works, will you know? Will you know? So, all these years that you have lived, have you ever looked at your mind in the form of being off balance? We pretty much think that we are very balanced, right? That's how we have been born over and over again. For those of us who do not subscribe to the idea of rebirth, that's fine. Even in this life, from the moment that you were born until now, how many times you have gotten angry, how many times you have become greedy, and all these things have an impact on our psyche, and impact on our bodies. And whatever there's an impact on our psyche and bodies, it will also have an impact on nature. So therefore, the first noble truth of going imbalance, off balance. So the second noble truth is the reason why are we not balanced? Because of the ignorance. So because we are unaware. If we know that we are imbalanced, then we will try our level best to balance it out. But we have never, and how to balance. The only way that you can truly balance yourself is through meditation. Because that is where you come back into the laboratory of your mind, and then you try to understand how your mind works and how the mind affects the body, right? And then the third noble truth says that there is a way to restore the balance. There is a possibility. And the fourth noble truth is the way, the method, the path to restoring that balance, which we call the Noble Eightfold Path. So mindful balance is the theme of all our meditation classes, the 21 classes that we have. Meaning that if you don't want heavy doctrines, you can't process all these Noble Eightfold Path, so just think of it as we have just gone off balance. Off balance means that we've become dualistic. Meaning that when we cannot stay in the middle. If you look at the world, everything actually is centered. And the universe works in perfect harmony. But except us. We are in complete chaos. Our minds are all over the place. So the monkey mind keeps on jumping. So, and the worst part is that you don't really know that you have a monkey mind that is jumping. Because it has become a part of you. And it's your conditioning since you're born. Mine too. So if you don't really know what's going on in your mind, the chances are that you will remain off balance for the rest of your life. And this going off balance is the reason why we become sick. We become angry. We become greedy. You eat more than necessary. You become sick. You don't understand your body. You don't understand your mind. When you become angry, you generate so much of negative energy. it goes and it disrupts our sleep patterns. It destroys our peace of mind. It gives us heart pain, chest pain, stomach pain, gastrointestinal problems. All these different things come together. So, how to restore that balance? So, today we are going to learn the body scan meditation technique in order to restore this balance. Okay? So, the body scan meditation, we call it Kāyagatāsati. So, what we are going to do is a systematic practice of observing the body from head to toe. Right? So, how many of us have observed our body from head to toe from the day that we are born until now? How many of us have watched Korean serials from A to Z, or ZTV cinema from A to Z? All the different episodes we've watched, right? Yeah, so we can spend endless hours, hundreds of hours watching TV, serials, reruns. And the irony is that we have never spent even 5 minutes scanning our body from head to toe. If we had spent that amount of time, today we will not be off balance. We will not be experiencing the noble truth of imbalance, the first noble truth, right? So you look at the whole universe, everyone is in balance. I think in a way, the human beings, we ought to be ashamed of ourselves because the entire universe has figured it out, except us. And guess what is that one little affliction that is keeping us from becoming balanced? That one little thing. The entire universe has got this intrinsic intelligence, awareness, wisdom, except us. Why? What is that one thing that we don't know? And that one thing is called ignorance, avidya, or in Pali we call it avijja. We don't know. And the best part is we don't know that we don't know. So we just go through the motions like on autopilot. So last week also I thought about mindfulness. Mindfulness is actually to stop you from going into autopilot mode. So whatever you do, whether you're standing, sitting, sleeping, talking, working and everything, you are fully in the present. So today I'm going to bring the teaching of mindfulness from the previous week and ground it in your body. Because last week we grounded it in our breath, right? And also overall we did something about the mind, a little bit about the sensation. We talked about the orange, we talked about eating, etc., being in the present moment. So today I'm going to bring you back to your body and reiterate the concept of mindfulness. Mindfulness means you simply remember to stay with the object of meditation during meditation. And if you are doing something, if you're sweeping, you stay with the broom. If you're washing the plates, you stay with the dishwasher, that whatever you call it, sponge, right? And if you're driving, you are with the steering wheel, you're with the road. And if you're studying, you are in your book. And if you are, what else? Maybe if you are sitting down, you are completely aware of your uh, your posture. Yeah, you're aware of your buttocks touching the ground. Yes. So this is mindfulness. And last week I also thought that when you develop mindfulness, the next thing is you develop a clear comprehension. You aware. So mindfulness is about remembering to be with whatever you are doing, whether it is you're focusing on the breath, whether you are sweeping the floor, or whether you are writing, whether you are uh, how to say, what is this called? Washing cleaning your table, whatever it is, whatever that you do with your body, with your mind, with your speech, you know 100% what you're doing at that particular time. And from that, you move on, then you have the quality called awareness. So the awareness is what you experience at that particular time. For example, when you're going to look at your body now, you're going to First, remember, I need to look at my head. I need to look at my eyes. I need to observe my nose. I need to observe my mouth. I need to observe my what is this called?
Neck.
My neck, or should I say my throat, or whatever. Yeah. And then you slowly go downwards. So the quality of mindfulness is that you know that you're supposed to observe here, 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 here. So that is mindfulness. And after some time of being mindful, you will come to a stage, the second stage called awareness. And that awareness is at that particular time is just a direct experience of looking at your crown center. It's no longer in the realm of conceptual thoughts. It is in the realm of directly experiencing something. It's just like, I taste sugar, right? I tell you, right? Okay, sugar tastes like this, but you won't know what it tastes like until you yourself put it in your mouth, correct? Yeah. So that is, directly experiencing sugar, then you know what is the taste of sugar. In the same way, directly experiencing your crown, your head, your nose, your tongue, directly experiencing it at that particular time as to what it is doing. And I will give you guided instructions as to what to experience, what to pick up during this 1 hour session. Right? Okay. So are we ready? All right. So it will take time for me to explain because it's every week there are new people joining, so I need to also look at the past week and also look at the present. So now we first start with pranayama. Every single meditation we must start with pranayama. So today we are going to keep the pranayama short. So pranayama, you have to do this blocking of your nostril alternately 3 cycles. Okay, so just observe. So you block your left nostril and then you breathe in through your right nostril and then you tell yourself, breathing in, I'm aware that I'm breathing in. And then you block your right nostril with your ring finger and then you release with your you release your left nostril and then you breathe out. Okay, can you observe me one time so that you get? Okay, breathing in, I'm aware that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I'm aware that I'm breathing out. In, out, in, out. So my technique is that I breathe in and then I breathe out by blocking this. Once I breathe out, I breathe in again through this. And then I breathe out. And then I breathe in again. Then I breathe out. Then I breathe in again. Then I breathe out. From the same nostril, breathe in again. Then I breathe out. So it's just the first time that you breathe in with your left. And then you breathe out from your right. And then after that, you breathe in. Then you breathe out. Can we do this? So one cycle will be like this. This is one cycle. And then 2, and then 3. That's it. Okay? And then followed by this. Your right hand over your left hand. Breathe in and out. So this entire thing is called one cycle. So let's start. So while you are doing your breathing in and breathing out, please be aware, mindful that you are breathing in and breathing out, that you are in the present moment. So breathing in, I'm aware that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I'm aware that I'm breathing out. In, out, in, out. Breathing in, I'm aware that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I'm aware that I'm breathing out. In, out, in, out. Right? So then you're breathing in, I'm aware that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I'm aware that I'm breathing out. In, out, in, So let's do this one more time. You can actually do it 3 rounds. And for those of us who are very tired, we can do it as many times as we like. Yeah, there's no hard and fast rule that you've got to do it 3 times, 5 times, 7 times. No. You do the pranayama according to the need of your body. Right? The more you need to rest, the more tired you are, the more rounds you do. Okay? So let's start. Breathing in, I'm aware that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I'm aware that I'm breathing out. In, out. So it's impossible to see my nostril, yeah? In, out. Breathing in, I'm aware that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I'm aware that I'm breathing out. In, out. In, out. Breathing in, I'm aware that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I'm aware that I'm breathing out. In, out. In, out. So you could do it at your own pace. Yeah? My pace is different from your pace. So the rule here is that when you breathe in, you breathe out. It's a natural breath, not to follow my rhythm. Yeah? Breathe in and out naturally. And then when you breathe in and out, just remember to note that you are breathing in and you know that you're breathing out. So you're developing training in mindfulness. You're training yourself to be mindful of the object of your meditation, and this is your breath. And you start observing, you start becoming acquainted with your object of meditation from the first exercise called pranayama. Pran, life force energy. So pranayama is an exercise in rebalancing your chi. So it's rebalancing your pran, your life force energy. We lose our life force energy every day because we get angry, we get greedy, we get tired, we don't sleep well through our negative thinking, through the way we neglect our bodies by rushing, and substance abuse, many things that actually causes us to become completely drained out. So when you know you're drained out, you can do pranayama anytime. When you're drained out, just whip up your finger. Your finger is stuck to your body, right? Your finger is stuck to your hands are stuck to your arms are stuck to your body. So it's like, wait, I got to go and bring a kit to come and do pranayama. No, you already have it joined in your body. So, and your breath is also with you since the day you're born. So there's no like I got to go and find my breath first, the object, or like you need to have a candle or something. I need to go and light one. No need. The breath is there with you all the time. So it's the simplest thing to do. It's just you're coming home. So for those of us who have never felt our breath, never looked at our breath, it's a good time to come home now. We've gone far enough. Projecting our senses outwards, the 6 senses, eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, everything going outwards. And that has gotten us into trouble and made us go off balance because of greed. And when we don't get something, we become angry. That too is off balance. And we have no idea that we are off balance and we are ignorant. So now let's do that. Pranayama again. So breathing in, you're aware that I'm breathing in. And then you block your nostril. Breathing out, I'm aware that I'm breathing out. In, out, in, out. Breathing in, I'm aware that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I'm aware that I'm breathing out. In, out, in, out. And then now both hands. Our right hand over our left with our 2 thumbs joined together, resting on our left with our spine straight and a smile on the face. Breathing in, I'm aware that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I'm aware that I'm breathing out. In, out, in, out. Breathing in, I'm aware that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I'm aware that I'm breathing out. In, out, in, out. Breathing in, I'm aware that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I'm aware that I'm breathing out. In, out, in, out. So once more, we do this entire cycle again. So there are some variations in my rhythm from time to time, and that also depends on my state of mind and my health. Yeah, and there are also variations when it comes to different masters, different techniques from different, gurus from different, regions. So different, meditation, guides, etc. So you do what works for you, and if you need a little help, if you don't know at all, you can try it my way. Yeah. So breathing in, I'm aware that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I'm aware that I'm breathing out. In, out, in, out. So you are breathing in a natural breath. Breathing in, you tell yourself, I'm aware that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I'm aware that I'm breathing out. In, out, in, out. So once more, breathing in, I'm aware that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I'm aware that I'm breathing out. In, out, in, out. Breathing in, I'm aware that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I'm aware that I'm breathing out. In, out, in, out. So then both hands, your right hand over your left, your two thumbs joined together, and then you shape it like a mountain with your spine erect and a smile on your face, your shoulders relaxed. Put a smile on your face, and then you tell yourself, breathing in, I'm aware that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I'm aware that I'm breathing out. In, out, in, out. So focus your breath, focus your mind on your breath, and tell yourself, breathing in, I'm aware that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I'm aware that I'm breathing out. In, out, in, out. Once again, breathing in, I'm aware that I'm breathing in. Truly know you're breathing in. Experience it, the direct experience. How it feels like to really breathe and being in the present moment. And breathing out, I'm aware that I'm breathing out. In, out, in, out. So while you're doing this, you note that your two thumbs are joined together. So you note the sensation, how it feels like, and you feel your your hands touching your lap, and then you feel your body touching the ground. You feel the texture of your meditation cushion, and then you can feel the temperature in the room. You know the sounds that are in the room. So all these things you're taking note. You are not under anesthesia. Yeah, so meditation doesn't mean that it allows you to sleep and then you are completely like cut off from this world. That's a myth. Meditation means you become super aware and you're directly experiencing everything in the present moment. A being that's a superhuman that has finally awakened the senses that we are supposed to awaken, like your cat and your dog. Yeah? So you finally awake. You finally smell where you're supposed to smell. You know you can smell. Yeah, sometimes we can't smell. Even though the smell is there, we are busy. We cannot smell. And we cannot feel where we are sitting because our mind is in the past, our mind is in the future, in our likes and dislikes. We are busy, right? So now, what are you busy with? Just do your job to observe your breath as it goes in and out. So once again, breathing in, I'm aware that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I'm aware that I'm breathing out. In, in, out. So meditation, you're not dying off, So don't be afraid. You're not going to die. You're not going to kill your so-called sense of self. You're not going to cease to function. You're not going to enter a parallel universe. You're just going to be here, grounded in the present moment, and be fully alive in the here and the now. That's meditation. It's so simple. It's the simplest thing to do apart from breathing. But it's also the hardest to remember, the hardest to be consistent, the hardest to experience. Simply because of our ignorant mind does not want us to come back to balance. The ignorant mind is like a master magician. The ignorant mind is taking out the rabbit and showing you things that are not there. And you follow the rabbit. Yeah, you're following it everywhere. So the master magician will show you the past. The master magician will show you the future. Yeah, right? And the magician will show you likes and dislikes. It will pop up a flower, make you go and grasp at the flower. And then it will take out something else that you don't like. And then make you grasp or push at some kind of smell, some kind of pain, something. So the magician is in complete control of your mind, and that magician is ignorance. So now you want to follow and believe the magician, or you want to experience your lived experience, your living experience on planet Earth as a human being without going through the lens of the magician, which is just an illusion. You want to experience the magician's lens or your own direct experience? Which is better? If you want to remain in perpetual ignorance and under someone else's control, be my guest. But you're going to be here for a long time off balance. So if you want to balance, learn how to see through the trick. Learn how to be here, right here, in the here and the now. Happiness is here and now. I have dropped my worries. Nowhere to go, nothing to do. No longer in a hurry. Happiness is here and now. I have dropped my worries. Somewhere to go, something to do, but I don't need to hurry. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. I am blooming as a flower. I am fresh as a dew. I am solid as a mountain. I am firm as the earth. I am free. I am free. I am free. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. I am water reflecting what is real, what is true. And I feel there is space deep inside of me. I am free. I am free. I am free. You are free from the magician's spell. You have woken up. You're slowly waking up. You're free. You can see the true reflection coming from direct experience without going through the dusty lens of the magician who tricks you into seeing the world the way it wants you to see, not the way it really is. You learn how to see things as they truly are, not what ignorance projects it for you. That's meditation. Okay. So now you do the breath of fire. So for those of us who have fallen asleep, kindly awake, because let's not have a negative pattern of falling asleep. So if you're falling asleep, you can visualize light, right, in your mind. You can pull your earlobes. You can sprinkle water on your face, or you can get up and do walking meditation for 5 minutes and then come back and sit. Yeah. Okay. So now we must proceed to the next level. Right. So now we are going to do the breath of fire very quickly. Breathe in. Breathe in. We do the breath of fire 10 times. So breath of fire, for those who are new, it's breathing in, filling up your lungs, your entire system with breath, and then rationing out your breath 10 times in small amounts, and you're pushing your diaphragm. Yeah, pushing. So you can feel that you're pushing your stomach from inside. Something is pushing. Can you feel? so, so observe. So breathing in. Oh, okay. For beginners, let's do 10 times. So once again, fill up your entire lungs, but don't breathe out from the lungs. Breathe out from the diaphragm. So once again, so you need to have your body straight, and then you need to be pushing it out from here. So you can feel the breath actually trying to escape from, like trying to pierce out from your navel. So it's like the breath is pushing, something is pushing out from your navel. Okay, can we do that? Okay, can? Yeah, let's try one more time. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. So don't put your hand there. You're supposed to do just like this. Yeah, like that. So not to touch here. If you touch here, you can't do the breath of fire. Okay. So the idea is to push it out of your system, to expunge the negative air, the bad stale air that's in your system. And this stale air is the one that's actually the air of energy of ignorance, attachment, greed, and hatred, anger. So all this stillness is inside there. The tiredness of the entire day, you expunge it out. Yeah. Or maybe an entire lifetime for those of us who have never meditated. But that's okay. You can always start somewhere. Yeah. So one more time before we proceed to the next. Okay. So the idea is to just release. Don't be ashamed. Don't be afraid. Yeah. So we are self-conscious, right? So that's why suddenly, our stomach might go haywire. All the bad, the fat in our belly, will be like, moving around. But who cares? Yeah. Doesn't matter. Yeah. The more fat you have, the better it is. It feels like, something is rumbling. So I did fast. You do according to your own pace, right? So now the idea of the pranayama is to ground you in the present moment, to release your stress by about 50%, right? To reduce your conceptual thoughts, to expunge stale air, and to get you ready for today's class. And it took 1 hour. Well, it doesn't matter. In samsara, yeah, we can't rush things, right? So we have to make sure that we understand. So now we have set the tone for the class. So the actual class isn't that really very long. So now you already are sitting down, I hope. Yeah. Okay. So now you've already established mindfulness, your breathing. So that's also step number 2. So number 3, we are going to systematically move our attention throughout our body. So we're going to observe whatever sensations there are without judgment. So if the mind wanders to the past, to the future, like dislike, gently bring it back to the middle, right? And if you are sleepy, please try to mitigate it. So now, I must give you some very important foundation to this. So the Buddha specially taught the contemplation of the body, and it is from the Majjhima Nikaya 119, and the sutra is called Kāyagatāsati Sutta. So it emphasizes the importance of developing mindfulness and concentration, but this time contemplating on the body, right? So why do it? So because we are so alienated from our bodies, isn't it? So we must learn how to re-establish connection with our body. At least learn how to know what's inside our body when we are tired, we are sick, and all. So we pick up those flags. And then also those physical tension that you have in your body, it will be reduced a little bit here and there. But for me, to a very high degree, my body becomes very pliant when I do this meditation. Yeah. So then, also for those of us who are in pain, uh, when you are looking at your pain, for example, the areas where it is pain, you'll be able to break down the pain into manageable proportions, and we are going to do it together. Yeah. And you also enhance your body awareness, and at the end of it all, overall, you're going to develop a sense of well-being and appreciation, just happy that you have a body. Yeah, in a state of equanimity. So that means no past, no future, no like, no dislike. You just accept. Now, how many of us accept our bodies? How many of us do body shaming every day? Oh, I'm not pretty enough. Oh, I've got white hair. Oh, I've got this, I've got that. I've got a mole here, I've got a pimple here, I've got this, I got that, I got belly fat, I got 3 layers here, I've got everything that I mentioned, okay? Yeah. But you see, uh, well, just have to learn how to accept it, right? Because you know, I don't have a tumor, I don't have, a debilitating disease at the moment, and I'm happy. So all these small things, that we are so, frustrated about, we make such a big deal about, isn't such a big deal. And it puts us into perspective when we do the mindfulness on the body. Yeah. So now please close your eyes. Time to close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths. Breathing in, I'm aware that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I'm aware that I'm breathing out. In out. Okay, so now you begin at the crown of your head. Where's the crown? This is the crown, yeah? The crown. So you move your attention slowly downwards through each part of the body. So which part of the body? So now the areas that you are going to scan, just an overall, it will be your head and your face, neck and shoulders, arms and hands, chest and upper back, abdomen and lower back, hips and pelvis, the legs and the feet, right? So this meditation, we call it Kāyagatāsati, which means it's the mindfulness of the body meditation. Okay. Now, so this is also related to the Satipatthana Sutta from the Samyutta Nikaya. From the Majjhima Nikaya number 10. Yeah. So the Buddha said, okay, in this way, the meditator remains focused internally on the body and on itself. So you remain focused on your body and you remain focused on yourself. And there are two things to look out for. Number one, look out for the body part. And number two, experience the body part. Look out the body part is the aspect of mindfulness, the sati. That means when you are at your crown, you know you're at the crown. And then when you're at the crown, when you can directly experience what's happening at the crown of your head, that is called awareness. Yeah, clear understanding. All right. Very good. Okay. So just gently now bring your mind to your breath and observe your crown. Okay, so now I'll tell you a teaching story. It doesn't sound very, I mean, for those of us who are vegetarian, I think it's a little bit, well, off-putting. But let me tell you anyway, because this is actually directly coming from the Pali Sutras. Yeah. So the Buddha compared this meditation to a skilled butcher. Not many of us want to hear this, but I have to tell it anyway. So in the Satipatthana Sutta, it's a story of a skilled butcher. The skilled butcher knows every part of the cow. Yeah. So the Buddha used this metaphor to make us acquainted with our body. How? So let me just explain to you. Yeah. So you see, just as a skilled butcher or butcher's apprentice, having killed a cow, would sit at a crossroads, cutting it into pieces, so too a monk, or should I say a meditator, reviews the same body, yeah, however disposed, as consisting of elements. So we talked about just now the 5 elements, isn't it? What are the 5 elements? So we view the body as earth element, water element, fire element, air element. So this is just a metaphor. Please don't get upset. Yeah, no one actually killed the cow. Yeah, and no one is butchering it either. Yeah, and cutting it into pieces. So, like the butcher's systematic knowledge. So the butcher knows which part to cut. Unfortunately, I mean, I'm not very happy saying this. Cutting the legs and everything. But let's just detach ourselves from the cuteness of the cow. So let's just be very objective. You have a cow in front of you, and you look at the butcher, and the butcher knows which part to slaughter, right? And the butcher knows this is the hand, this is the leg, this is the eye, this is the nose, and whatever it is. Yeah, this is the stomach, etc. So just as the butcher knows how to cut, so in the same way you also know how to examine your body methodically. We are not devaluing the body. Please don't get me wrong. But we want to understand its true nature. I don't want to gross you all out. That's not what it's supposed to be, yeah? So the purpose is to promote non-identification with the body. So just think of it. Detach yourself for a while. The body is not you, yeah? And then also, it's another way of understanding it. So we have from the same sutta I mentioned just now, the Kāyagatāsati sutta. So it's the simile of a grain bag. So in the past, we have similes relating to farming, etc., butchers, etc., which many of us don't relate to in the present day. But just to be authentic, and I think it's very relevant. Yeah, we still eat rice today, isn't it? And we still have millet and all sorts of grains. And for sister here who is a farmer, organic farmer, I think this uh, metaphor will suit you very well. Okay, so let's look at it. So just as though there were a big bag, yeah. So both ends, opening a bag, the one that you give the baja one, yeah, that one. So both ends are full of all sorts of grains. So you have hill rice, you have red rice, you have beans, you have peas, you have millet, you have white rice, yeah. So anyone with good eyesight, yeah, you cannot be like blind or anything like that. So you have a good eyesight. If you open the bag and then you review the contents of that sack, the gunny sack, and then you will know that this is hill rice, this is red rice, this is millet, this is peas, this is barley, this is oat, yeah, this is white rice, etc., etc. In the same way, that's how you're supposed to note every single part of your body. Got it? So the purpose of it is for you to understand what the different part of the body is and how the different parts of the body are experienced. So you must pay detailed attention to each part of the body as if you're a scientist looking under a microscope. Okay? Okay. So now we start with the crown of the head. So when you are looking at the crown of your head, these are the things to look out for. So you look at, we have earth, water, fire, wind. Yeah? We don't look at space. So when you talk about the earth, you look at the crown of your head and you experience hardness or softness. Try to experience. So if you're looking at the earth element, you have hardness or softness. So now you're just looking at the crown, yeah? And from this crown, there are many things to look at. One by one, we will go today. Okay? So if you're feeling sleepy, you can pull your earlobes. You can visualize something bright. You can drink some water, etc. So when you look at your crown of your head, we are scanning it according to the four elements. So this is something which I have not thought before. So please listen very, very carefully to the earth element. What to look out for? We look out for hardness, softness, and whether it is dense or not. So look, just observe the crown of your head. We haven't gone to the eyes, the ears, the nose, the tongue, the body, the mind, all these things, yeah? Okay, so then you will look at the water element now. Naturally, this meditation takes hours and hours. So if you want to do the full meditation, it will take like the entire day probably. But now, for the sake of introducing this meditation to you, stick to the crown of your head, your attention to the crown of your head, observing breathing in and breathing out. But at the same time, you're looking out for, now we go to water. So we can see whether there's on your crown of your head, there's fluidity or not, or cohesion. Fluidity means whether that you feel that there's kind of a liquid sensation, something like that. And then you move on to fire. Try to note the temperature of your crown. You see, whenever I shave my head full, yeah, if I fully shave my head, I can feel the crown of my head like all the hot air, like a hot air balloon, just like popping out of my crown. Very hot. I can feel. Yeah, so if you're aware, you can actually really feel at the crown center, you will feel hot or cold, right? You will know. And then the air. Air means, the air element means that do you feel any movement, a tingling sensation, some kind of a vibration? So if you feel sleepy, make sure you don't sleep, because we don't want to create the mental habit of sleeping during meditation. So keep your back straight, a smile on your face. So you are supposed to look at the earth, water, fire, and air. So you look at hardness or softness. Just note. So it's like giving you a toy. Your mind is all over the place. The logic of this meditation is so simple. It's just giving you a toy. And in past classes, I said it's giving you the banana. So because our monkey mind is running in all the directions, so we need to tame the monkey mind. We need to get the monkey to sit. And how to get your monkey mind to sit? I need to give you things to do. So now I'm handing you the toy of the 4 elements meditation. So now your earth meditation. So the toy is earth. So now you're going to look at the crown of your head. You feel, yeah? If it's not there, don't cook things up, don't conjure things that are not there. You're not visualizing anything at this point in time, you're just noting. Okay? Hardness, the softness, so that's the earth, or density, whether it is dense or not. Yeah. So water, fluidity, fire, any kind of temperature variation, or air, any kind of movement, vibration, so you note at the crown of your head. Okay? So you're scanning that, for your crown center. Now, according to the simile of the grain bag, right? You are going a little bit deeper, like you are looking at, it is millet, it is white rice, it is red rice, it is barley. One by one, you look at the grain, and looking at the grain, you need very good eyes, isn't it? So a person who opens up a big sack, both sides, and then you start, sifting through the sack, and you see, this one is this, that one is this is red rice, that is white rice, this is millet, that is peas, barley, etc., etc. Now what you do at the crown of your head, so you need to develop clear recognition of different sensations. So now suddenly you might, at the crown of your head, is there any sensation? You don't have to tell me. You note these few things. Okay, I give you instructions. Whether it is pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. Whether there is a sharp, dull, tingling, pressure. Any kind of a Chi, tingling, like, pricking, that kind of thing? Or is it like very dull? Any gross or subtle sensations? So this is like sorting out those grains. So if you don't even know what those grains are, how are you going to sort them out? So now you start to know. And what are those grains? Those grains are whether it is a pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral sensation on your crown. Sometimes when you feel like there's some kind of a pain or itch and you want to scratch it, don't scratch. Don't scratch, don't touch. Yeah. Sometimes just by thinking about the crown of your head, by observing it, you feel 1,000 itches coming up with it. You want to scratch. Don't interfere. So you feel a sharp, dull, tingling sensation, any kind of sensation, gross or subtle sensation. Yeah. So don't get caught up in any kind of story regarding the sensation. And then suddenly say, oh yeah, I thought about this sensation. I had this sensation last week, when I was, you know, having my tea. And suddenly this sensation came up. And the trail of stories goes on and on and on. No, cut it. No past, no future, no like, no dislike. Meaning that if your mind has wandered to the past, or your mind has gone to the future, or if it is going to the realm of like or dislike, and you see the magician starting to come and play tricks on you, gently bring your mind back to your breath. Gently bring your mind back to your breath. You start breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Okay? Good. So now, once you understand that, so we can move on to another body part. So now we look at the head and the face. So your head, just now was just the crown center. So now maybe you might want to look at the temple, which is the temple. This is the temple, right? You want to look at your so-called third eye. Everybody is obsessed with the third eye, yeah? Tuesday Lobsang Rampa, third eye. So everybody wants to get their third eye open. Isn't that why we learn meditation? We want to have the third eye. Ooh, the third eye. So the third eye, then we get to see other people's minds. Well, we don't know our own minds, but we want to read other people's minds. Wow, fantastic. That's not the point. Yeah. So what's in your head and face? You know your eyes, your ears, your nose, your tongue, your mouth, your skin on your face. Okay. So now you are looking at it. You can either look at it one by one, or you look at it as a whole, the entire head and face. And once again, we go through the 4 elements. I repeat, yeah. Now you can select. You can select your eyes, your ears, your nose, your tongue, yeah, or your skin, your mouth, your eyebrows, your third eye. I think 100% people will go for the third eye. Anyway, okay. So so now the 4 elements. The 4 elements comes back from the cow story. Everything is related. Okay. So now you look at the earth. So whichever part of your head and face you picked, so you will look at it, the earth element, you look at it whether it is hard or it is soft. Suppose you're looking at your eyes. Some people have they get eye pain all the time because they can feel something is heavy on the eye, burdensome like that, hardness. And sometimes when you are full of loving kindness, your eyes feel soft. Learn how to see those connections, yeah, but don't create don't visualize or conjure up anything. Your job is to note. So the earth element, whether it is hard or it is soft, and the water element, whether it's fluid or not. And then fire. Sometimes when you work too long, yeah, you feel that your eyes are on fire, especially when you look at the computer for so long. Note the temperature now. I'm not asking you to go into details of whether it is 36.9 or whatever it is Fahrenheit, Celsius. That's not the point. Yeah, it's nothing to do with conceptual thoughts. I'm not asking you to record down, like some sort of a weather station or something. No. Then there'll be no difference between meditation and the mundane world. Yeah? So now you are really letting go your conceptual thoughts. You're going into the realm of awareness and you're just noting the temperature. You know why we must? Everything also we must record things down, we must use our conceptual mind. Without the conceptual mind, we are dead. No. We are dead because of the conceptual mind. And once we let go of the conceptual mind, that's the time we become fully alive. I put it to you now, I challenge you. Look at the temperature of your eye or your ear, your nose, your tongue, your mouth, your skin, or whatever it is. Just look at it and directly experience it. And you can see the difference of what happens in your mind. I don't want to suggest to you what happens in your mind, you know. And when you know, then you learn something new, and that is called jnana, wisdom. Knowledge, yeah. So now we have sati. That means you're looking at your sati means what? Mindfulness, smriti. You're looking at your eyes or your nose. You're looking and you remember to look at it without going to the past, without going to the future, without going to like, without going to dislike. You're grounding yourself in the present moment by focusing on your eye, but still you haven't forgotten your breath. You're still breathing in and breathing out. You know you're breathing in and breathing out, but at the same time, then you shine the mindfulness, the torch of mindfulness onto the screen of your eye, and then there you are like a scientist, in the laboratory. Whether it is without taking a pen and pencil, and this scientist is very special. This scientist doesn't use the conceptual mind. This scientist just observes and gets direct experience of whether it is fluid, hard or soft, what's the temperature, and then whether there's any vibration or sensation. So many of us have all sorts of pain, our eye pain, nose pain, headache, etc. This, by doing this method, you may sometimes, temporarily it might become overwhelming. Suddenly you get a headache which is like epic proportions. Then if you think that it's becoming too much, you move to a different body part. And the opposite can also happen, where if you have had a headache and when you're actually looking at it and seeing things as they really are, the headache just disappears. The eye pain just disappears. Because the eye is not you. The reason why you think it is you and the pain you think it is you, that is why it's painful. If you dissociate yourself, so-called self, from the pain, it's just pain. Pain is pain. I is I. It's not my I. It's not my pain. The moment you take ownership of it, then you are giving it fuel for it to harm you in return by giving you endless suffering. So there is an imbalance. All you do is now you note and try to put things back into balance without doing anything other than observing. Okay? Understand? Can understand or cannot understand? Okay. So now, while you're looking at your eye, so you know whether it is pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. Right? Whether it is a sharp feeling, tingling feeling, whether there's any pressure or not. So suppose you take your eye, you can feel whether there's pressure, whether there's a sharp sensation, tingling sensation, pleasant, unpleasant, whether there's any gross, that means very, like it's not a refined one. Yeah. And then the subtle sensations. So now you're starting to look at your mind like the grain of sand. Sorry, the grain of rice, one by one, your eye. One by one, you're looking at your body part, right? And you get to learn so much from this technique. So much you get to know about your body that you never ever known before. So Kāyagatāsati is very, very important for developing mindfulness and concentration. So now we go to the. So don't try to change anything and don't try to create anything. And if you encounter pain or discomfort, just let go, yeah? Don't cling on to it, don't follow it, don't suppress it, don't judge it, just let it be. Just release it into space. Now you can go to the neck and shoulders. Once again, the neck and shoulders, usually I like to do my shoulders because I usually look at my computer, it's very painful over here every day. Yeah, it's very burdensome, like somebody like it's like I'm carrying like 2 tons of weight on top of my shoulders. That's as much, and I feel it, and it's a lived experience for me. People will say, "What lah?" I said, "No, it's my experience." Yeah, I feel like as if there's a 2 ton lorry, truck on top of my shoulders. I feel pain, burden, tired. So what do I do? Then I start to look at earth, water, fire, wind. So when I look at earth, what do I look at? I look at the hardness. I look at the softness, hard or soft. And when I look at the water, I look at fluidity. So whether I know my shoulders are hard, yeah, I can feel. I can feel it hard. Yeah, if the day it's soft, then I know that it is soft. But I just don't judge. I don't want to change things. I'm not here to change it. I'm just here to note it. And guess what? Automatically, because I'm noting, somehow or other, it will balance up itself and it will change. Yeah, for the better. Okay. And then the fire. Fire is the temperature. So my shoulders, sometimes, when I carry backpack, my laptop bag or whatever, and sometimes the shoulder will be like, you carry one side, the monk's bag, the jola, then the body will be like one side like that. One side going to the left. And then one side going to the, so I can feel lopsided and I feel this heaviness, tiredness, fire. Sorry for the internet. I hope the internet is okay now. Yeah, so meditators continue. Sometimes the internet is intermittent here. So the earth is hardness or softness, water is fluidity, fire element, you look at the temperature, and the air movement vibration. You could also look at whether it's unpleasant or pleasant. When I feel the 2 ton truck on my shoulders, obviously it's unpleasant. Yeah. And then there's a pressure is poking here. So I know it feels like that. And the more I look at it, sometimes it's like it multiplies, it becomes extremely unbearable. And then whether there's a gross or subtle sensation. So now you notice how the sensations arise and pass. So we go into a new realm now. So you are looking at it one by one, the different sensations, different body parts, different sensations. And then you start to see things arising, you can see, hey, suddenly go. I'm looking at my head, suddenly at my stomach there's something. I'm looking at my shoulders and suddenly my head is itching. You start to note, you become so aware. Your awareness is heightened. It's amazing, yeah, this practice. This practice I really it never fails to amaze me. So please, for those of you who are sleepy, kindly come back to yourself. So now, so we have to observe. For those of you who are sleepy, I give you one thing to do. Sleepiness is where now? Tell me where your sleep is. Where is it? Where are you experiencing the sleep in your body? So just now you're scanning your face, isn't it? Your head. So now you observe and see where the sleep is coming from. Observe and see how does it feel like. Is it hard? Is it soft? Is it vibrating? Is it fluid? You know, is it hot? Is it cold? Is it pleasant, unpleasant? Is it sharp feeling, tingling feeling, dull feeling? So if you don't give yourself something to do, you will naturally fall asleep. So when you are falling asleep, use that sleep as a, you know, use it as an experiment. Experiment with your sleep. So you need to understand your body at that particular time. Where is the sleep? So that's this practice is about that. Yeah. So now we go down. We've done the crown. We've done the. So now we go to the chest and upper back. Sorry, arms and hands. Arms and hands. Okay. So what you're going to do, you're going to look at the earth, water, fire, wind again. So the earth, so if you have chosen your arms or your hands, so you look at it whether they are hard or soft. So if you've got 1,000 aches and pains, most probably your hands are hard, right? And if you're exercising every day, most probably it is soft. You should know, yeah. And then water, fluidity. Sometimes you feel as if like it's like your skin is dry. There is no moisture at all. So you can feel the lack of water element there. You can feel, you know, fire. Sometimes when you have an itch on your hand, on your arms, your hands, and that itch is like a forest fire, so unbearable, you know. But through meditation, you are learning how to equip yourself with the skills to shift it from unbearable to bearable in order, and then sooner or later it becomes equanimity. We cannot be slaves to our body and its bodily sensations forever. So once you note your body, you're aware of your body, you know what arises, what ceases, how the sensations arise, what they really are, then you cease to identify yourself with the body. The body is not my body, and you cease to identify yourself with the sensation, and the sensation is not mine. If it is not mine, it is not me, it's not mine. So therefore, I can release it. And once I release it, you tend to suffer less. So therefore, you become balanced. The imbalance has become balanced. So then the suffering is not there anymore. Yeah. The pain may be there, but the suffering is not there. So suffering equals to pain times reaction. So pain is there. Nobody says the pain is not there, right? But do you need, so your imbalance is because of your reaction, and your reaction is because of the magician's illusion that that body belongs to you. You are the body, you are the sensation, therefore you suffer. You react because you react to the pain as if it's me, mine. That is why this practice is extremely powerful in body scan. Yeah? For those of us who have aches and pains, this is extremely important that you learn this meditation. So you look at the body, whether your arms and your legs, your hands, whether it's pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral, whether there's a sharp, dull, or tingling sensation. Is there any pressure, dross, or subtle sensations? You notice how the sensations arise and pass. Any itch that comes, you know, how the itch comes and how the itch goes. You know, suddenly there's, you know, you can feel something pricking, a prickly heat on your skin, on your hands. Note it. Once you note it with the light of mindfulness, that particular thing will shine like a bulb. And eventually that connection between me, my I, and the body, mine, it just gets cut off, and you stop grasping at it as your own, and you look at it and you see your body for what it truly is. And guess what it is? It's non-self, it's anatta. It does not belong to you, and it is not you, and it's not me, right? So the next one we go, so we don't have much time to go through everything. So the chest and the upper back. So I like chest. Why? Because I'm asthmatic, and asthmatics have a particular challenge of uh, the chest always having wheezing. And if I don't know that I'm wheezing, then I can get into very big trouble, right? And if you don't know, then I can actually lose my life also. So I'm wheezing, let's just say for example now. So now if you look at your chest or your upper back, you look at your chest, right? So you look at it, earth, water, fire, wind again. So the earth element, the hardness and softness of your chest. So if you have had injuries on your chest before, you can feel whether it is hard or it is soft. And then water, fluidity, yeah? So you can see whether it is sweating, you can feel something like, sometimes when you have a lot of phlegm, that also is like fluidity, yeah? You can feel something like water, you know. And for people with pneumonia, the water gets in the lungs. My goodness, that's a very dangerous state. And I'm just recovering from pneumonia, by the way, so I know, yeah, what I'm talking about. Fire. So you can feel sometimes when you're angry or when you're anxious, you feel that as if your body, your chest is on fire. And where is it coming from? Financial problems, fire. Enmity, fire. Not getting what you want, fire. So you feel the fire. Or cool. Cool temperature, as cool as a cucumber. Or maybe my chest is so cold because I slept in air conditioning, for example, or a fan hit me. And then my chest starts to constrict and then I get wheezing and I get asthma. My goodness, so cold. You can feel, Yeah? So air, movement, vibration. So earth, water, fire, wind, air. So air is movement, vibration. So you feel, you can sense, you see your chest cavity go up, go down. And sometimes for those of us who are asthmatic, who are wheezing, we can feel the chest vibrating. We can feel the rongkai, we can feel it. And then note also whether it's pleasant, unpleasant. So naturally, if I'm wheezing, it's unpleasant, isn't it? I can hardly breathe. And I have to cough my lungs out, yeah, in order to be able to get something to breathe. Have an inhaler. But I haven't reached that stage yet, yeah. Thank goodness. And I don't want to. So I'm managing it through meditation. Nebulizer. You end up going, to the clinic and getting yourself nebulized. My goodness, yeah. So you must know. Pleasant, unpleasant, neutral, sharp, dull or tingling sensation, gross and subtle sensation. So now the next one, we go to abdomen and lower back. So the abdomen, the gut, is the root of all diseases, we say. Yeah. So we say those who have got leaky gut syndrome. So therefore, it can give rise to many, many different diseases. So take care of your stomach. So now go back into your stomach, and try to see. Yeah, earth, water, fire, wind. So earth means what? Hardness or softness. Is your stomach hard or soft? If you have eaten too much, you're constipated, you can feel it's hard, Water, fluidity. So if you can feel that, sometimes you can really feel like as if there's just like a lot of water retention, you can feel. Fire. So you have, so sometimes the stomach is very cold and then you stop digesting, your digestion becomes very, very slow, right? And then you have problems. And then air. So when you're hungry, you can feel the stomach, the thing moving, vibration, etc., etc. Right? And sometimes in the middle of the meeting, suddenly you don't know that you're hungry. You ate so much, and yet suddenly this strange sounds start coming, and the whole room can hear your stomach, except us. No lah, we can hear also, but it's quite embarrassing actually. Yeah. So our body is really fun, only if we care to look at it. Yeah. So now we go to the next one. So you see, yeah, whether it is unpleasant, pleasant or not. So if your stomach is cold, is it pleasant, unpleasant? So if you see that your stomach has got a lot of wind, yeah, and then do you feel a sharp, dull, tingling sensation, gross or subtle? Do you know the sensations? So note whether it's pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral, whether it is gross or subtle, whether it's sharp, dull, tingling sensation, without getting caught up in it. Okay, and then your hips and pelvis. So now you go to your hips and your pelvis. Also, you look at it from the same angle: earth, water, fire, wind. Hardness, softness is earth, water is fluidity, fire is the temperature, air is a movement vibration. And after that, you see whether it is, when then you go to the realm of the feeling, yeah, whether it is pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. And then you go deeper into sensation, like selecting a particular grain, whether it's a sharp feeling, dull sensation, tingling sensation, whether there's pressure or not. If I'm fat, like I am fat, yeah, so I can feel the pressure on my hips, and sometimes it's painful. So then I know I need to lose weight. Yeah. So you can feel, and what is the feeling? You can feel the pressure, and then sometimes you can feel this sharp tingling sensation, burning, and sometimes. So then earth, water, fire, wind. Okay. Next, last but not least, legs and feet. So the legs and the feet. So the leg has to support the whole body, the legs and the feet. Right? So it's, if you are walking all day long, standing, the feet start to swell, or you don't move, also it swells. You got water retention, also it swells. So earth, water, fire, wind. Now you look at it, whether hard or soft. So it's like if my feet are swollen, and I tend to get that sometimes. And then water, I can, if water retention, it's quite scary, yeah. And then fire, sometimes you stand on your feet the whole day, or you're mopping the house the whole day, so then you can feel like fire coming out from underneath your feet. So now what it feels like, don't imagine the past. I'm giving you an example. And then movement, yeah, air, vibration, any vibration. Is the feeling pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral? Is it sharp, dull, tingling? So you don't have to memorize what I say. Just note, yeah. It's just a guide for you. Gross and subtle sensations. So you need to develop clear recognition of each sensation. Yeah. Yeah. So now I give you a little bit of something else. So we are done more or less with the body scan meditation. So how did you feel? You Did you ever feel that you have never? I mean, have you ever looked at your body in this way? Did you get any new direct knowledge from your experience, whether it is sleep or whatever it is? Did you feel that you're seeing something, like you're seeing it for the first time?
Yeah, I recognize like which parts of my body are maybe more tense or have maybe a bit more pain, and maybe I didn't notice the pain before.
Right. So now, how has this empowered you? This practice.
Hmm. Maybe just to be more, I guess, just more mindful and to take care of my body as though like a body is like a temple or like
Very
a
true.
beautiful building or garden or something.
Very, very true. So Ajahn Chah, you just actually quoted one of my favorite teachers, actually. So my favorite teacher, from the past, he said, the body is like a temple. Yeah. So learn how to take care of it. Okay. So that's very important. So the Buddha taught in the Satipatthana Sutra, yeah, that the mindfulness of the body is a profound gateway to understanding. It is the direct path for the purification of sentient beings. And this is the foundation, the four foundation of mindfulness. The body, mindfulness of the body forms the first foundation. right? So Venerable Thich Nhat Hanh, my teacher also, in fact, they're all my teachers, one way or another, direct, indirect. Venerable Thich Nhat Hanh said, when we are mindful, touching deeply the present moment, we can see and listen deeply. And the fruits are always understanding, acceptance. So you see, you have to understand your body. When you understand your body, then you accept your body, you don't judge it anymore, yeah? And you love it, yeah? And then you desire to relieve the suffering and bring joy. So the body is like a tree, Ajahn Chah said. How? And the mind is like the wind that blows through. But the problem is that we think that the wind is the tree. So the body is the tree, and the mind is the wind. So we think that the wind is the tree, but the wind is just passing through. So we think, so that's why I said your mind is not the body, isn't it? But we think that the mind is the body, but actually the mind is like the wind that's just passing through the body, it doesn't belong to you. But because you think it belongs to you, therefore you said it's my pain. Ayo, I'm so pain. It's so painful. Oh, I can't take it. Oh, you know. So my teacher, I have many teachers. I'm so blessed. The late Chief Reverend, he said that when you are sick, don't let your mind be sick. I've often wondered what Chief Reverend said. The late Chief Reverend was trying to say, when you are sick, don't let your mind be sick. This is exactly what it means, because the body is like the tree and the mind is like the wind. So the mind is just passing through, like the wind that is passing through the tree. So if we think that the wind is the tree, just like we think that our mind is the body, then we will suffer physical pain, right? So, um, one of the very famous monks of our contemporary times, Bhante Gunaratana, Bhante Ji, we call him, he said, mindfulness of the body is not just about the physical form. It's about understanding the nature of existence through direct experience. Did you get a glimpse of it? You're not just looking at the physical form, you're looking at what is arising, what is going, right? And then you're looking at it bit by bit by bit by bit. And then you started, and the reason why I told you about the four elements, the Buddha taught, not what I told you. Everything is from the Buddha. So the reason why you're looking at it from the five elements point of view, or rather the four element point of view, is for you to finally realize you are the four elements. And the more you do that, the less you will think that this body is me, mine, you get what I mean? You're not so attached to your body, because you can let go of this body being me, mine, and I kind of thing. Yeah. So like you said just now, the body is like a temple, yeah? So Ajahn Chah said, treat it with respect. Don't body shame yourself and don't body shame other people. Yeah, and use your body for practice. Like one of my teachers also, he told me that when I started complaining that, oh, I'm not in the Himalayas, I should be in the Himalayas, now I'm in Semanye, it's so sad, oh, poor me. Then the teacher said, not poor you. He said, your body is your meditation hut. You don't need to transport yourself to the Himalayas and stay in the hut under freezing temperatures which you can't stand, because you are coming from a hot country. So be realistic. So wherever you are, your body is your retreat hut, and treat it with respect. And the more you practice this body scan meditation, the more you will appreciate your body, right? So now I want to tell you another story about Avalokiteshvara. Do you know who is behind here? I show you. So behind you is actually a tanka, a pictorial depiction of Kuan Yin. Kuan Yin is actually the goddess of mercy from the Chinese tradition, and from the Mahayana tradition, which comes from India, we call it Avalokiteshvar. And in Tibetan, we call Chenrezi. So this is the four-armed Chenrezi. So Avalokiteshvara is actually the Bodhisattva of compassion. It's a Bodhisattva is actually a being that aspires for enlightenment. Big names, yeah, but it just means that someone who really has so much kindness and compassion and really wants to do something to alleviate the suffering of the world. So now, what is Avalokiteshvara's story? Okay, let me just very quickly. Okay, so Avalokiteshvara's story is like this. So Avalokiteshvara is the name itself says that the one who listens to the sound of the world. So the cries of the world, so the cries of all sentient beings, the person is so moved and wants to alleviate the suffering of all living beings. So we use that as a metaphor. Yeah. So in the Mahayana tradition, so we look at Avalokiteshvara's listening practice. So we say that Avalokiteshvara is a very good listener. Yeah. And he listens to the cries of the world. And how can we be good listeners? You know, one thing about us is that we talk too much and we listen too little. It's said that we have got one mouth but two ears, right? So we speak more than necessary, and therefore we create lots and lots of conflict, endless conflicts with one another. Yeah, and then this like whole world is full of chatter. As practitioners, we want to reduce our mental chatter, and by reducing, how to reduce our mental chatter is by first shut the mouth, stop talking too much. When we talk less, then we will create less, mental chatter. And when our mental chatter goes, fizzles out, yeah, dies down, and conceptual thoughts fizzle away, then we get direct experience, so we can actually fully be in the present moment. That is the time you become a good listener. And how to become a good listener? So begin with awareness. So now is a very good time. Yeah. So now you can actually, sister, can you open? I want them to hear the sound of the. So begin with awareness of how sound impacts your body. So now we have many sounds. Towards the evening, you can hear the sound of the bird. Can you hear the sound of the birds? My German friend, yeah, Sister Uta, she sent me a message yesterday that she will tune into the video today because she is intrigued by the sounds that are coming from my video. Yeah, all the different birds that are chirping. She said dogs barking, all sorts of things. So she says that she wants to tune in so that she can listen to the sounds, and I found it very beautiful. So now we have the sound of the fountain, right? Yeah. So now we have the sound. So now you listen for 30 seconds. If you are wherever that you are, any natural sound, any sound whatsoever. So begin with awareness of how sound impacts your body. So you notice physical responses to other people's speech also, for example. So one good example is how a natural sound impacts your body and mind, and when other people talk, how it impacts you. So you notice any physical responses and feel the resonance of sound in different body parts. So this is related to our body scan meditation, right? Use of body awareness to develop deeper empathy. So this, when you listen to the sound and you know how the sound affects your body, and then you will know how your body responds to it, then basically you can handle, you start becoming a better listener. You start knowing, how things, how you can actually navigate through it, and your body responds to it. Yeah, if you can't stand it, then there's a particular saying that I want to impress upon you. It's not my saying, it's also the saying from Ajahn Chah. Once there was a monk who was so disturbed by some renovation that was going on in the monastery, and then he couldn't meditate for for quite some time, and then he got extremely frustrated, and then he went to see his teacher Ajahn Chah. Ajahn Chah was a enlightened monk whose monastery was in is in northeast Thailand, but he passed on like more than 30 years ago, right? So Ajahn Chah told him, the monk started complaining, oh, so much of noise, and then Ajahn Chah said, look here, it is not the noise that is disturbing you, it is you who's disturbing the noise. What does that tell you? Which means that the moment we start to judge the sound, you know, and then we start getting angry, we look at the responses in our body, our body cringes, our ears cringes, everything starts to tighten up and everything, and then we start responding, and we become, the followers of the sound. Therefore, we are already slaves of the sound. So we are disturbing the sound actually by becoming involved in it. So everything also cut and see it in the lens of objectivity. Just as a scientist would look at the microscope, right? Or a person who is looking at the grain will select the grain. You too look at your mind and just look at it as processes without, and note whether you're getting angry or what, but without letting it overwhelm you. So that is the teaching for today. And one more I would like to quote from my own spiritual tradition, Tibetan tradition, Milarepa. Milarepa is the great Tibetan yogi who was known to be in the Himalayas wearing just very thin cotton. And he was, it is extremely cold in Tibet, yeah, and it was more so in the past before climate change. So Milarepa wore just very thin, cotton in the freezing cold. And how could he do that? Because he had developed tumo. Tumo is one of the practices of generating inner body heat, and is one of the 6 yogas of Naropa. Is a practice that is part of the Kaju tradition, where the 3 years, 3 months, 3 weeks retreat, 6 yogas of Naropa is taught to the meditators, and they have the ability to generate the body heat. How can they do that? Yeah, because they have developed sensitivity to subtle energy flows. So they notice the body's natural responses to condition. First, they notice the body's so they do this body scan meditation, and then they start, developing sensitivity to the energy flows, and then after that, they practice maintaining awareness during physical challenges. So if you would think that it's something that that such a great supernatural thing. It's like you can control, so they can actually melt ice with their bodies wherever that they sit, because their bodies become so hot they can generate inner heat that they can melt ice and they can stay warm with just very little clothing. And then people think that, oh, they must have gotten some siddhi, from somewhere. They've become mahasiddhas, some kind of extra paranormal kind of a thing. Nobody wants to hear the truth. The truth is very simple. They all had to do the hard work that you are doing now. Develop mindfulness. Then from mindfulness, you upgrade to awareness, direct seeing. And from direct seeing awareness, then you get insight knowledge. So that is the process. There is no other process. There is nothing, no one comes from outside and gives you riddhis and siddhis. You develop it through hard work. So are there any questions before we end? Any questions whatsoever? I'm very happy. Yeah. So now you understand how it can actually purify your grasping. So once you understand it, then you look at it as not yourself, not self. You let go. You start letting go. You no longer associate things. You no longer grab and grasp at your body. You no longer fret over your pain. So it helps you to overcome your sorrow, your pain. Yeah, it contributes to inner peace, right? It helps you develop a lot of empathy for yourself and others. Yeah. So what else? Did you feel that your mind, the scattered mind, is already grounded?
Yes.
Was that one of, yeah, you felt, isn't it? Yeah. So did you feel suddenly that your body has balance and you've come to the center? You have actually found your center somehow or other.
Yes.
Whether you realize it or not, you already came back to the center. It's just a matter of the next time you sit down, you will know whether you're in the center or right or left or whatever it is. Yeah. And this is the way for you to become fully alive in the present moment, which means that all your mental energy, the winds have already gone into your central channel, and you are here in the present moment, completely blissed out and enjoying your breath and completely 100% aware of your body, your mind. And you are an ordinary being who has become extraordinary through the power of your own hard work. So, you want anybody to come and enlighten you? Pour some holy water and then you become enlightened? Or do you think that anybody can become enlightened like that? Yeah. So any questions before we end the session?
Maybe just one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anyone on the live stream has a question, but I was wondering, can you apply this technique in your day? I guess, yeah. Can you apply it in your day-to-day life, like in your interactions with others at work or at school, in the moment? Like if something is said to you and maybe you need to practice letting that thought go, you can do it, I suppose, in the moment.
Okay, so this is a very important and very good question. Thank you for it. So, if somebody says something to you and you can't take it at all, right? So, basically, you go back to your breath. So, it's like a commandos training. So, if you have not trained as a commando, so when the time comes to go to war, yeah, to be deployed, you get killed because you're not prepared, right? So here it's not about practicing at that time. It's about doing your homework every morning, 10 minutes, every evening, 10 minutes. And no one wants to practice. Everybody wants to be equipped with the ammunition at the time where the thing happens. That's not how it works. How it works is that you become grounded, you know, through 10-minute practice in the morning, 10-minute practice in the evening. Maybe if you're diligent, you practice in the afternoon. And then you slowly develop your mindfulness bit by bit by bit. You are mindful of your tongue, what you say. You're mindful of your hands, where it goes. You're mindful of your thoughts, where the thoughts go, what your thoughts create. And then you're becoming more and more aware. You're becoming more and more alive. When you walk on the ground, simple thing like walking on the ground, you become alive. You know you're walking on the ground, so that later when things like this happen to you, there will come a day where you will just notice it as sound sound sound. Unpleasant, pleasant, you say this is unpleasant. It's just sound. It's pleasant, unpleasant, neutral. Ah, so you don't attach any meaning to the words anymore. But it comes through training, not something that you develop in the battlefield. So you got to do some groundwork, and the commandos do very rigorous training. How much do we train? 5 minutes every 3 weeks once. Yeah. So how can we ever, develop that level of mindfulness? Okay. So any questions? Any other questions before we end the session? Any questions, Venerable Sister? So, what did you learn today? One final round of, what did you learn today? Is it something new? Have you ever learned this before? Hmm. So, what is the technique called again? Body scan meditation. Okay, very good. And then, what is the body scan meditation?
Also, any body sensations.
Okay, observe from head to toe. You scan your body, you observe the sensations, you observe it in light using the framework of the four elements, and then pleasant, unpleasant, and then the sensations, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And then you come and then you get to see things arising, and then you realize after some time that all these experiences are not you. That is where you are going to come from. So I end this with a quote from the Buddha from the Anguttara Nikaya. The Buddha said, "One who has mastered mindfulness of body has gained access to the deathless." Even if your body dies, your mind will remain happy. You will not die with your body. And therefore, that's just one part of it. The deathless means that you will realize non-self. Because if you can detach from your body, this practice detaches you from your body. If you can detach from your body, then you can detach from your feelings. You can detach from sensations, and they are no longer my feelings, my body, my sensations. They're just sensations. You see things as they really are. You see them as arising and then sitting, abiding, and then disappearing. And then one fine day you realize that this I truly doesn't exist the way I think it does. That is called deathless. But that's a subject for Vipassana in the future, in one of my other classes within the 21 classes. So please, if you have not watched my previous videos, watch my previous videos, because previous videos will give you a lot of theory. So today was just one part of the meditation. Next week will be something else, something else, something else. But you can practice any meditation anytime. Okay, so it's best that we, call it a day. And I would like to wish my friends, uh, Chinese friends who are celebrating Chinese New Year, very happy Chinese New Year, and happy, prosperous, blessed, and also safe Chinese New Year to all my friends, yeah, and my neighbors, wherever you are, in front of me, online, everywhere. Sunam diye thamche zepa nye thumnye nye pe dranam phamje ne kiga na che bala prupaye tsitpe tsole do wa resho jampe pa wo jitara kempa dan kunto zampo de ya de shin de da kige je so da bloji gewa de da thamche rab to ngo de so shepe gya wa thamche gi ngo wa ga la cho to nga pa de da gi ge we tsawa de kuncha Zampo choji rabdo wa regi ke wa kuntu yang da lama dan rame che ke pa la lu je chi. Sada lam ji yun ten rabzo ne do je changi ko pan yu to sho jan jo sim cho rimpo che ma ke pa nam ke jure che. Ke pa nyam pa me pa yang gom ne gom do pe war sho. Whatever teachings that I have shared here today, all this come from my teachers. So I express profound gratitude to all my teachers for giving me the ability to share. And whatever mistakes that I have made are all mine alone. But the teachings are authentic because they come from authentic spiritual masters traced back to the original Buddha Shakyamuni. Thank you. Signing off. Happy Chinese New Year.